produced slash manufactured by Lockheed Martin, but you never mentioned if it was under autonomous flight or piloted. P.S. Love your reporting. Thank you, Charles.
That's a good question, and I'll be honest with you, I don't know for sure. I have been told previously that when TicTacs, you see, one of the other things I want to clarify here as well is there are NHI TicTacs. A lot of people seem to be thinking that I'm suggesting that all TicTacs are Lockheed Martin. That's not the case at all. What I was told, and I'm reasonably sure that this is the case, is that the TicTac was being operated by Lockheed Martin. And it's conceivable that that was being operated neuromeditatively, psionically, by a human psionic, which is what I understand is the way that these retrieved non-human craft are being operated. It's not clear to me, though, whether this is a craft that was built by Lockheed Martin or whether it is Lockheed Martin testing the use of neuromeditative signaling, as our friends at Skywatcher call it, to operate one of these craft. I just can't answer that question specifically. All I can do is tell you what I've been told by my multiple sources, which is that the operation of the TicTac was being controlled on the day by Lockheed Martin. Now, I want to say here, let's be really clear about this, there is always the possibility that sources that talk to a journalist like me may be malign. They may indeed be running some kind of psyop. And of course, I've taken that into consideration in asking the question. The difficulty is I can't go into the detail for very obvious reasons about who these sources are and why I think so strongly that those sources are telling me the truth. And I can tell you there are a lot of people who are assuring me that I'm flat wrong. And that's fine, but let's have a discussion about this. And also, let's talk about what I think was actually another of the major points that I was trying to make in the course of that conversation I had with Bryce, which is that there is an obvious contradiction between what the White House has said, that these were FAA authorized drones operating the continental United States in November, December, January, and what the US Air Force has said, which is two senior generals, one former, one serving commander of Northcom NORAD, responsible for the defense of the United States Northern Aerospace, stated categorically on the record that they have no idea who is responsible for those drone craft that were hovering over the continent of the United States. That's an obvious logical contradiction. And if the president, think about this, if the president, it's actually a good point that actually supports the possibility that I might in fact be right and that my sources are in fact telling me the truth. If the president is telling the American public they don't need to worry about these drones which we know are operating anomalously with anomalous characteristics, then what the hell is going on? It implies he's been briefed. Just by the way, just to add more smoke to the fire, earlier on today, I had a message from a guy in New Jersey who has seen one of these drones land in a New Jersey backyard. And this is what he told me. I was beaming them one night. He was illegally pointing a laser beam at one of these drones, which you should not do, naughty, even if they are NHI or whatever they are. I was beaming them one night around midnight, and the one flew straight over my backyard, stopped slightly above and to my left, and seemed to sink down into the trees along the little street on the side of my house. The next thing I see is this rectangle-looking box-like thing floating just above the street, about the size of an old Ford station wagon. It was the most incredible, starkly lit thing I've ever seen. I've never seen colours so radiant, so intensely liquid-like in my life. Several shades of blues with oranges and yellows like intense neon lights. It scared the hell out of me, and I moved away from the window so it couldn't see me. I slowly poked my head around the window, and it followed every move I made. It knew I was watching it. I would pull back, and it came up the street. I would move into the window, and it moved back down the street. It was like we were synchronized, and I was completely freaked out to the point that I quickly ran into my kitchen and considered hiding under my sink, of all things. I found myself in some sort of stupor, like I was being drugged, confused, and slowed down. So I went to my bedroom and got my .25 and just laid back in bed. I awoke the next morning still holding the pistol. Something really anomalous that has no visible means of propulsion is landing in the New Jersey, and your president is telling you he's not concerned about it. Yet two generals responsible for the defense of the United States aerospace are telling you they're concerned about it and they don't know what these objects are. Why is the president not concerned? And why are two US Air Force generals, presumably, not briefed into what the president is briefed into? Think about that. Thank you, Megan.
You're welcome, Ross, and thank you. We will go to the next question. This is from Chris French on X. Hi, Megan. A simple question for Ross to shed light on his statement about the TicTac. To be clear, even if Ross seems confident the TicTac is U.S. tech, does he think it's a reverse engineering tech from NHI or a tech 100% created by humans?
Okay, and again, Chris, thanks for your question. As I've mentioned earlier, we're not saying all TicTacs are Lockheed Martin. And it's quite clear that some TicTacs are indeed non-human intelligence, or suspected to be non-human intelligence. But what we're talking about are objects that are showing the five observables performing, doing maneuvers and operating in ways that don't conform to terrestrial craft. I can't answer the question definitively whether they are constructed by Lockheed Martin or whether it's Lockheed Martin operating